Good morning.
Good
This is
morning.
Trish, and I definitely want to introduce Nicole Boyd, the creativepreneur, the entrepreneur of Studio Vegan and many other things. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, I really want to talk about my order.
Okay.
So I ordered from Studio Vegan. I'm not a vegan, and let me just put that out there. I
Mm-hmm.
thought about it, and I was like, well, let me order some of these vegan cookies. And I'm sure they're going to be nasty as hell. Anything with the word vegan in my mind as a non vegan, I'm thinking it's going to be gross, nasty, don't have any taste. So I ordered the sample box, and in here is these coconut cookies. Okay, I have coconut. I have, what do I have? Walnut and chocolate chip.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of them. I think I got my money's worth for sure. And it was the Emily sample, and then these ginger chocolate chips.
Mm-hmm.
The best cookies I have ever tasted in my life. Hands
Well,
down, I am not kidding. And then I'm like, no, this is not vegan. This cannot be vegan. What makes these cookies vegan, Nicole?
so the cookies are made with regular cookies are made with eggs. So when I make my cookies, they're made with flax seeds, which are ground
Yes.
flax meal, and I use
Mm-hmm.
that as an egg substitute. The sugar is bone charred free because regular sugar is actually processed with bone char, which comes from animals. So I use bone charred free sugar, which is organic and not processed with bones. Then I also use vegan butter, which is super yummy. It's similar to margarine, but mine is organic and I get it from Wegmans. I don't know if you're familiar with them. And yeah, everything's vegan. The sugar I use is organic sugar from Bob's Red Meal.
Oh,
I
wow.
think it's just I've been making cookies for myself for so long and baking for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it all started with me in the beginning, anyways, just making stuff for me. And then I was like, these are good. And it started with posting a picture, and then there was a bakery. So,
These cookies are the bomb. And if it wasn't in the morning time, I'll be chomping on them right now. I'm trying to be easy because when I first purchased, when it first came, I'm like, oh, okay. I had the box sitting there. I didn't open them or anything because I'm like, I have to get ready for them.
mm-hmm.
So my daughter couldn't wait. She's walking around cleaning, sweeping, and she just kept grabbing the cookies. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
grabbed one, you know, okay, delicious. Grabbed another one, found myself eating damn near a third of the box. They are so good. So now I'm so curious. Like if I were to become a vegan, does the food taste just as good as these cookies?
The food does, but what I tell people and what I tell my clients is I always, whenever I do a meal plan or I cook for them, I always start with what they loved eating because that's how I cook for myself. I used to love lasagna. You can still make a good lasagna as a vegan. It's just flavor. With any food, whether you're eating animal products or you're vegan or vegetarian, whatever you are, it all starts with the flavor and also the sauces. So with stir fries, if you go to an Asian store or Chinese restaurant and you're vegan, you can
Mhm.
still get a stir fry with the sauce. It tastes just as good as if you were getting
Right.
rotisserie chicken.
You just
So
okay,
that's
so I'm not smart when it comes to being a vegan. So
okay.
what is a vegan?
A vegan is a person that basically does not consume any animal products. So that includes milk, cheese,
Ooh,
any Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit more strict on myself, so I even go down to like certain products that like sugars. So
Mhm,
some sugars are processed with bone thread, as I mentioned, so I don't consume certain sugars. There's honey. If I don't buy it,
mhm,
I'm not eating it. Kind of situation. There's certain I even go as far as only shopping as close to home as possible. So if my food isn't locally grown, I kind of don't buy it because of air pollution and so forth. I'm kind of more environmentally friendly vegan, but also cautious about
mhm.
where my food comes from. And, you know, I appreciate the planet. And I mean, I feel like comes
Right.
along with being vegan, and I appreciate my body. I don't want my food to come 100 miles away and I'm just getting it and it's been frozen, touched God knows how many times. And then I
Mhm,
touch it and then somebody else touches it. So
mhm.
I'm a huge fan of farmers markets when they're open. I try to
Right.
shop as local as possible.
Mhm.
And I've come to make 95% of what I eat now.
Mhm.
So I
Wow.
don't buy a lot of the crap in the supermarket because there's plenty of stuff for vegans now. So there's
Mhm.
the cheeses,
Mhm.
the faux meats. I switched over to like making everything from scratch, which is a little bit more time consuming, but
Right.
I know what
It's
I'm
worth
eating.
it health-wise.
Yeah, I know what I'm eating. I know how to portion stuff out correctly.
Mhm.
Cell phone, you better stop it.
What's the difference between like being a vegan and then a vegetarian? Is there a difference?
Yes. So for vegetarians, they will consume eggs.
Mm,
They also, some will eat cheese.
mhm.
Whereas with the vegan, they don't eat any dairy products. They don't
Mhm.
consume any
No
animal products.
milk.
No, no animal products, no cheeses. Anything you can think of that consume that has animal in it, you can't have it. Like marshmallows have pork in it. People don't
Oh
know that.
wow,
But,
I didn't.
oh,
What about
it has
potato chips?
potato chips, depending on how it's cooked, or what it's cooked in. I don't buy or eat French fries from certain restaurants because some of them cook them in pork fat and chicken fat or a combination of animal fats.
Mhm.
So fast food is like out of the way for me. I don't consume
Yeah,
it. So yeah, I mean,
I
and then
have a
there are
question too.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so say for example, I eat meat a lot, and if I wanted to transfer to a vegan, will I get sick because I'm not consuming meat?
No,
Is that a thing?
it can be. I've been vegan for almost 3 years.
Mhm.
I am allergic to a lot of things now, but the reasoning why I'm allergic to it is because your body no longer recognizes the product anymore. I
Mm.
haven't eaten pork in 12 years, so
Oh.
that's before I went vegan because I saw
Mhm.
a pig hanging in the supermarket. I was a little kid and I ran out and
Mhm.
started screaming, and
Right,
from there,
that'll do it.
oh yeah, I was done. So I stopped eating pork and I went to a restaurant while I was in London and they made my sandwich next to somebody that had pork on their sandwich. And the cross contamination made me break out in hives on my arm.
Oh.
And that was just cross contamination. So imagine if I actually consumed
Mhm.
the pork.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah,
So because your body does not recognize pork anymore.
no,
It doesn't like it.
no. And I think it goes like, it's like that for most things. So if I consume anything that had cheese in it,
Mhm.
and somebody put it in there by mistake, not knowing that I'm vegan,
Mhm.
I feel nauseous, I'll feel sick, I'll probably throw it up if anything. So, I mean, our bodies, with anything that you consume, if you stop eating it for a certain period of time, your body no longer recognizes it. And the defense mechanism is you breaking out in hives and,
Mhm.
you flaring up. So, yeah,
So in other words, if I start eating healthy, my body is like, "Whoa."
your body is going to be like whoa, but it's going to be happy. It's going to be a transition for your body
Mhm.
because I did the same thing. I used to eat a lot of fast food. I was a Chinese person,
Mhm.
and I worked a lot, so that's all I could eat. I didn't have time to make food for myself like I
Mhm.
do now. So yeah, my body transitioned from me eating Chinese food almost every single day
Mhm.
to me eating healthy and raw food and drinking smoothies and juices, and my body appreciates it now. So it's
Right.
just, you'll see it. You'll see it in your skin, you'll see it in your hair, you'll see it when you sleep. Um,
You
it's
feel
just
better. That's what
yeah,
I'm hearing.
you feel better, and you feel your body feels different. Like you just feel lighter.
Mhm.
There are some vegans that do not eat whole food. Like there are vegans that literally just eat all the fast food that you can think of. Because there are healthy vegans, and then there are
Mhm.
vegans that eat fast food, just like regular people. And then there are
Mhm.
the ones that meet you in the middle. That's kind of me. I'm like on the healthy side, but I enjoy my French fries and homemade burgers if I
Mhm.
choose to. So
Let me
yeah.
tell you this. I know a few vegans, with the exception of maybe two. The rest of them are fat as hell. Tell me why. I don't understand it. Are they just replacing meat with cakes and pie?
Some are, because the veganism movement has become corporate,
Mhm.
and now these big corporations are basically betting in on us.
Mhm.
From all the Impossibles to Beyonds, and Beyond is like the number one go-to vegan product right
Is that
now.
okay to do or no?
Beyond is good in moderation. Like with any food, if you consume it too much, it isn't good for you.
Mhm.
Just like cookies, if you ate cookies every day, you're
Yeah,
not
it's
going
a
to be good.
problem. Cause
So
you know what? Don't even tell me because
I
wait till I finish these and then tell me that. Well,
if
let
you
me
ate
finish my box of cookies first.
okay. So in
But
moderation.
I'm just that's what I'm that's because I'm not knowledgeable about it. That's why I appreciate this conversation because
Mhm.
it's so much we don't know. And just like me, I assumed that these vegan cookies were going to be the worst thing on the planet, and they turned out to be my favorite cookies in the world. So
Oh.
I want to transition that to food as well. Like if it's something that I can do to eat healthy, and just think about it. Like I own a trucking company. I don't talk
Mhm.
about it, and then when if a driver is not available, I'm on the road. Like
Mhm.
there's nothing out there. I've been in pretty much every state that a truck will go, even driving ferries over to somewhere. How do I maintain a healthy vegan lifestyle if I'm over the road?
That's a good question. I have a friend who drives truck,
Mhm.
and I used to go with him. Um, what I used to do is I'd make my food at home,
Mhm.
and you'd make quick stuff that you can take with you. My favorite thing to take is like granola, fruit that can actually last you on the road. So bananas are great, apples, oranges, food that doesn't go bad very quickly. They also bring little, what are they called? Like little not fridges, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
The little things you can put ice in, the
Yeah,
cooler.
yeah,
Yeah.
cooler.
So bring a little cooler, and you can bring I wouldn't even say cold cuts because those are gross. Uh,
What
to go
about
meat,
dried fruit? Is that good, bad,
dried,
or
dried fruit without sugar coatings are good.
okay.
Those in moderation again because they're literally concentrated sugar. When they
Mhm.
dry them out, all you get is the sweetness from the fruit.
Yeah.
Dried fruit is good though. I love it. I use it in granola. You can bring oatmeal with you on the road because I mean, all you got to do is pop in some hot water.
I
You,
love oatmeal.
yeah, and I mean, I know most stop places they have microwaves and stuff you can bring with
Yeah.
microwaves
Well,
in there.
I'm just saying, the truck is fully loaded.
Okay.
Refrigerator, microwave, I'm
Oh, great.
ready. But
Okay.
it's just that when just say for example, from South Carolina to New Mexico.
Mhm.
That's the last place I went. That was a long ride. And it's absolutely nothing in between. So that's why I'm asking, like, I need,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? And then when you find something, you either afraid to eat it or it's extremely unhealthy.
That's normal. I know exactly what you're talking about. I would recommend making pre-making meals and bringing them
Mhm.
with you if you have a fridge. I would also recommend bringing stuff that you can put in the fridge, like pre-made
Yeah.
soup if you're into those.
Hmm.
Stir fries are my go-to, and you can also bring microwavable rice. So make your big stir fry and have your rice on the side or whatever you like on the side of there. Um, you can get pretty creative if you got
Yeah,
places.
as I go along. But I know enough about me. I just had to get my personal questions in. Tell us about Studio Vegan.
So Studio Vegan originally started, it started out of nowhere. So
Mhm.
originally, I went vegan while I was in Italy, which sounds kind of crazy because it's the meat capital. It
Yeah,
has everything's
spaghetti,
made with
right?
eggs. Yeah, but the
Meatballs.
everything, prosciutto, mozzarella. But I went vegan after going to Sicily, and I was in Sicily for a 10-day break. I was studying abroad there,
Mhm.
and
Studying to be a chef?
no, I was studying fashion.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, studying
You gotta
fashion.
check that out.
Yeah. And I had these strawberries. They were like this big, like little,
Mhm.
not even a quarter, about a size of a quarter, maybe even smaller. And I'd never seen strawberries that small. And
Wow.
I went into their supermarkets and I was like, what the hell is this? Like,
Mm.
this looks different. It looks healthy. The
Yes.
food looks strong. It didn't look processed. It wasn't in plastic.
Mhm.
And we bought some strawberries and we tried it and it tastes like a piece of candy, like the purest natural sweetness of a strawberry. And
Right,
that literally changed my whole life. And
right.
then the
Just
woman
the one strawberry changed your life, Nicole?
that and also the spinach, the I was
Yes.
still consuming eggs then, but the eggs look completely different from ours. The amount of water they were consuming, the
Yeah.
activity, like
Just the lifestyle in general.
exactly, the food culture there, how everything was set up, and it was beautiful. And the woman I stayed with, she grew and made everything that we ate from scratch, majority of
Mhm.
it. So that was even a culture shock to me because I wasn't used to
Yeah.
somebody making me pizza from scratch
Mhm.
or
And it's still delicious.
so good or pasta with just sauce. Like, and it was good. I was like, where's the meat? Like there's no meat
Yeah.
sauce, but it was no meat sauce. It was just pasta with sauce, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. So from there, I was just like, I got back to this country after I was done studying. I was there for 4 months, and then I never bought animal products again. I came here, I bought the
Wow.
last of what I
You
wanted.
went cold turkey
I did. It
or it was
wasn't
a
hard.
gradual thing?
It was I did it 1 month, I came back and I bought what I loved, and then
Mhm.
after that, it was done. Like, once the food was gone, whatever I had in my house was gone,
Mhm.
my whole house turned vegan. Like, I got rid of all the products that weren't good for me, I got rid of anything that contained animal product, fish sauce,
Mhm.
pork, anything that contained a byproduct of animal, I got rid of.
You got rid
So,
of do you feel better? Like
I
health-wise?
yeah, of course. I feel amazing. I feel like it opened a different part of food because,
Mhm.
most of the vegetables we know are like very limited. I learned about fruits and vegetables I never would have came across. The African cucumber, which is very bland. It tastes like a zucchini,
Yeah.
but it's like an African cucumber. Or there's like
Right.
the Buddhist ham, which tastes like a zesty lemon and it looks like little fingers, but it tastes
Yeah.
amazing. So it's
Right.
just little things like that that I got to come across because I was like, I'm going to try something new every single day. And I was just pushing myself to try new fruits and vegetables.
But that's what urban farming with Trish is about. I know
Hmm.
just from the urban communities. That's why I put the urban on there. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. There is nothing like that in the grocery store. You know where I'm at. I couldn't even find a spaghetti squash. I had to go and on the north side just to get a
Wow.
spaghetti squash. Like the things that are offered in the
Hmm.
areas in some of the urban areas, or even the Black communities,
Yeah.
we don't get the healthy stuff. The healthy stuff we
Hmm.
have to go somewhere else on the north side. It's like every country, the
Yep.
north side have better stuff.
Hmm. It's like that. I think I was just talking to one of my mentors about that. I worked with her when I was in fashion, and she was basically like, yeah, the first time I met her, I went to Whole Foods. And
Mhm.
I'd never been to Whole Foods. Like, I
Yeah.
was a Black girl. I knew the corner store. I knew Western Beef
Mhm.
and Costco's, but I never went to
A whole
a Whole
food.
Foods. And I walked into Whole Foods and I was like, what the hell is this? They got
Just yes.
fresh stuff. They got a
Mhm.
whole produce section. And I was just mind bottled. And I also went to the farmer's market in New York City for the first time with her when I was there. And I was just like, what is this? Like, there are
Mm.
people selling me
Were
fresh
you
fruit.
an adult during this time, just now knowing about Whole Foods?
No,
Okay.
I think I was a teenager then.
It's still too old. Yeah,
Yeah.
to know, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
knew about a Piggly Wiggly or a Winn-Dixie or
Oh
something
yeah.
that had all a bunch of crap in it. It was cheap,
Yeah.
but you still pay for it with your health.
Yeah, and I feel like the worst thing for me is just thinking about it as a kid is we always went to the corner store for everything. So we went
Mhm.
to the corner store for our milk, our bread, uh,
Yes, yes.
our snacks, and we were
The
constantly
eggs too, and they
surrounded.
probably were
Yeah.
old.
Yep, and bombarded
Bread.
by like all these snacks and junk food and
Mhm,
soda, and there was no fresh food. But if you go to like 110th Street, which is like past Harlem slightly, you go to a
mhm.
corner store over there, completely different setup. They have healthy
Oh,
food and all the nice fruits and vegetables. Like it
on the
actually
counter.
looks like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, a nice real like store where you can buy whole food that's packaged if you want, and it's not bombarded with just processed chips and candy.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
real food
that's
in
how
there.
it is in all the hood stores. You're
Mhm,
gonna see cigarettes on the
mhm,
counter. You're gonna see cookies and candy and all, like you said, crap. That's
mhm.
like, forced. And I think the more you see something, the more you want it.
Yep,
And that's pretty much what happened to our community.
yep,
The price and the fact that it's junk.
yep.
It's really sad, but we got to do better. I know I grow most of my vegetables. I know it's wintertime, so I don't really have a whole lot now. So I do go to the market and buy my vegetables. Do you grow anything, or do you just stick with the big farmers
I
market?
I want to stick to the big farmers markets have closed now, sadly.
Oh,
I do have a friend who has a friend that owns a farm and he's been like giving me stuff, but I stocked up on as much as I could when the farmers market was open. So I canned a lot of it. I
mhm.
dehydrated a lot of it and I froze a lot of it. So I still have a lot of food
Yeah,
from
it's just you
the
too,
market.
right? Is it
Yeah,
just
it's
you?
me. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So I
great.
definitely have plenty of food left. I bought potatoes that lasted me up until last month, that I finally boiled and froze and packaged.
Yeah,
Those are in my freezer. Those are from the farmer's market. And then occasionally I'll go to the supermarket up here, but not very often because again, like
yeah,
I said, I look in the supermarket and I'm just like I wish this I
right.
wish the farmer's market was open or there was like a little place where I can go and see the farmer's market. But because with COVID, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I
So,
tried.
about Studio Vegan though, tell us about it. Like I know you have meals that we can buy. Like say I don't know what to cook. Like
Okay, so Studio Vegan the concept originally started as sharing my food diary with people.
mhm,
And it gradually switched over to meal prep. When I was in New York, I was meal prepping for a client I came across at work, and she became my permanent client. I started meal prepping for her, and I'd share what I was meal prepping for her on
yeah,
my Studio Vegan site or on my Facebook page, and or I was meal prepping for myself and just sharing
mhm,
ideas on what people could make for quick meals or how to meal prep and what you can put together.
mhm,
And then I transitioned over to actually making meal plans for people. So making meal plans for them from Monday through Saturday, giving them like breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas that they can eat. So it's consistent, but also giving them times because I feel like a lot of people forget that it's the time you eat every single day that matters and also the portions you eat every single day.
mhm.
So kind of just helping them with that. Then
Yeah,
obviously the bakery came and everything else kind of just fell into
follow
place.
behind. So if we
Yeah.
go to the site now, can we get some ideas on what to cook if we want to start become vegan?
On my I think it's linked to that. On my old blog, there is a list of a bunch of recipes you can make as a
Mhm.
vegan. In regards to like ideas, I've been doing consultations with people for like 15 minutes and kind of
Okay.
walking them through ideas. I'm transitioning my website over to it being like, here's what you can eat. And like right now, I just listed fruits and vegetables that are in season that you can eat right now because I feel like
Yeah.
that's another thing people don't eat in season and they
Mhm.
forget that that is a part of our carbon footprint eating out of season, but your food tastes better when it's seasonal.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm working on and sharing with people. Another thing I added to Studio Vegan was I started doing during the Black Lives Matter thing.
Mhm.
I started doing research on food. So I was
Mhm.
doing like the history, African American history on food, and I did one on
Mhm.
the watermelon. That was like huge. A lot of people didn't know that the watermelon is actually a berry that comes from Africa.
Mhm.
And it started off as like a small little berry. And then, later on with science and everything else that came along, it became bigger. But it's from the African diaspora.
I would love to know the history because when I'm around certain people, or if I have to order around certain people, I'm not ordering watermelon or chicken
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, I talk about that a lot. There are a lot of Black people that just don't do it because of the stereotypes that
because of
come
the
along with it.
stereotype. Yeah,
Mhm.
I really don't. Like I don't. I mean, I just don't. And I love chicken and watermelon, and that's my two favorite things in the world. But I
Mhm.
won't do it. I would
Yeah,
not. I
I
would
love
not order
watermelon.
chicken in front of a certain group of people.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me. And I go into a little bit of history about that and how the watermelon got its bad reputation for African Americans. So once the slaves were free, they became watermelon farmers, and they would sell the watermelons to slave owners and a bunch of other people. And basically, the slave owners or the white people back then took the watermelon name and turned it back on Black people and called Black people watermelons. They were lazy. They sat there and
Wow.
just growed and dirty. And that's
We
literally
we
what it
were
was.
lazy. We were called lazy until we stopped doing shit for free.
Hmm. So that's where the watermelon got its bad reputation. And
Mhm.
then they started creating advertisements with it. And it was just, it got bad. And I
Yeah,
did like a whole
yeah,
blog post about it. And it's just like, it's sad to think that a fruit that's so good for you has a bad
mhm,
reputation, and so many African Americans or people of color in general
mhm,
won't consume this fruit because of the reputation it was given.
yeah.
Just same thing with grape
Now,
juice,
now, now, wait a minute. I'm gonna eat it at home now.
of
At
course.
home, we're gonna eat some watermelon, and we eat chicken damn near every day. But I just don't appreciate the stereotype and how it's connected to African American people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just don't do it. I don't know why. Maybe it's something I need to get over. But it's really, really sad. I just appreciate this conversation because definitely if I don't become a full vegan, I want to at least transition to eating toward that way.
Hmm.
I don't think I'll ever give up hot wings. Now I can do everything else. Just give me some can I be big vegan 5 days a week and order me some hot wings on Saturday morning?
It all starts with progress. I mean, I'm not one of those people that'll push people to be vegan. I just share my knowledge and education with people, my product. And if people choose and they want more knowledge on being vegan, my family's not vegan. I'm the only one that
Yeah.
that's vegan. So that's like me bashing my whole family for not eating what I eat. Oh, you guys
Yeah,
are gonna blah
absolutely.
blah blah and da da da. That's not
Yeah.
good for you. Of course, I'll educate them on what they're consuming, but at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's choice.
Yeah.
And
But
I can,
are you available for like consultations? Like if
yeah,
you
of
just
course.
post your information, can we, because somebody like me, especially who's not as knowledgeable, and if I go in the grocery store right now, I'll just feel like a lost child. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to buy. But so
Yes, of
your
course.
consultations, is this something that will help us?
Of course. So the consultation, you can do them a few different ways. I've done consultations where I went to a supermarket because that's where I used to work.
Mhm.
And I'd meet somebody there and I'd literally go food shopping with them for 20 minutes and show them, how to create a meal using X, Y, and Z in the produce section because that's where I live. I love the produce section.
Mhm.
Um, but it also depends on their lifestyle. So I've had people who are alkaline, which I am, I'm part alkaline, and they want alkaline stuff, and that even limits your diet even more.
Right.
But it also is really good for your body. So there are people that or paleo vegans, which is weird, but there are people that don't consume certain things and they only want natural,
See, that's
purest
the
food.
thing. I hate when something gets started because you have all these different acronyms and extensions,
I
and
know.
to me, it's just an excuse to do what you want to do. Like
Exactly.
either you're a vegan or you're not. Like what's the other one? Presbyterian, where they eat fish.
Pescatarian, yeah, it's where they
Pescatarian.
eat fish. I feel like the veganism movement started, it already exists. There was a white man, I can't remember his name right now, but he basically started the vegan organization. Let me see if I could find his name really quick,
I
because
know Dr. Sabi, is it Sabi? Is that how to pronounce his name?
Sabi
He's
is the
the
one who started the alkaline movement. He
okay.
is the face behind that. And that's like, I'm happy we found him. But the man that started the vegan, is it the vegan organization? Yeah, the vegan organization.
Hmm.
He was this white guy that basically wanted to separate vegetarians from vegans. And he created this organization. I think it was the Vegan Union. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that right there is confusing to me because it sounds the same. Vegan versus vegetarian, but you just said earlier vegetarian eat eggs and cheese, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, the
vegans,
Vegan Society. That's what it's
oh, okay.
called. So the Vegan Society was created by this guy. Let's see if we can find him.
Okay.
Starter. Okay, this is not helping me with nothing. But there's a video I posted on Instagram. Let
Okay.
me see if we're gonna
So
go to
what's
my.
your Instagram? Can we post your Instagram? Because for me, I'll follow you just for the knowledge because
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
have it. Definitely Studio Vegan is the place to go. So for there we can do the consultations, we can see
Yeah.
the meal prep. What
Yep.
else can we do at Studio Vegan?
At Studio Vegan, I also share how to become. My goal this year is to help people tap into their inner chef. So ever, I feel like everybody can cook. We
Okay.
just don't choose to, and everybody gives me the excuse that they don't have the time. At one point, I was working 3 jobs full time, 100 and some hours a week, and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
coming home and cooking for myself. So when
Oh,
I hear that, I'm like, okay, well, I was working 3 jobs and I still cooked for myself
yeah.
because my health meant more to me than anything. And I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I didn't want to do it, but at the end of the day, I'd rather make my food, my medicine,
Mm-hmm.
I call it, than have to go to the hospital and take their medicine.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's just, it comes
And,
down
and and
to,
meal prepping at home too is good.
and it's cheaper. It saves you money. That is
Mm-hmm.
like my number one thing. But also right now with everything that's going on, it should be everybody's priority to
Mm-hmm.
want to save themselves some money.
Yeah.
Um, where here we go. Let me see. Oh, wrong person. But yeah, so I also share, I just did a 5-day vegan warrior challenge to teaching people how to make my favorite staple items. So I love biscuits. Biscuits were one of those because a lot of people think you can't make amazing butter biscuits. You
Mm-hmm.
can, vegan, make butter biscuits that are amazing. I make granola because I use that as my go-to for breakfast and also as snacks. It's a healthy snack.
Mm-hmm.
I made vegetable stock because it is, that warmer or cooler season up here at least. And, we need soups. You can use it in
Mm-hmm.
soup. You can use it in your rice. I just made rice using my vegetable stock.
Mm-hmm.
You can get pretty creative with it. And that's like a
Yeah.
staple item. I also showed how to make plant-based milks because sometimes when I travel, I go to
Mm-hmm.
people's houses and they don't have milk I can consume, or I need milk. So I
Mm-hmm.
always carry around like a container of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have blenders or something I can make milk using. You just use
You
water and
saying
nuts.
you making milk out of what now?
Nuts or
And
seeds.
water? See?
Yep. And a little bit of salt.
Wow. Does it turn white or
Yes, it does. It turns into a
you're
creamy
gonna
white
have to
color.
show us that, Nicole. Like if you do a video and post it, where would you post it on your Instagram, Facebook,
They're on my YouTube channel and there is one on my
YouTube? Can we
Instagram.
post your YouTube so we can learn some stuff?
Yes, you can.
Okay, we're gonna post to YouTube and we're gonna all subscribe
Yes,
to
it
your
is. Nicole Boyd, that is my website.
Mhm.
And what did he create? It's called, his name is Donald Watson. He created the Vegan Society.
Mm.
And he founded the Vegan Society to basically separate vegetarians from vegans. But this already exists in the the pan, what did she say? The POC
Mhm.
is the people of color, us. So the
Yeah.
Indians, the Buddhists, the Hindu, they already had all of these things. Africa, so they were
Mhm.
consuming a lot of vegetables and fruits, and especially in India. That's like they have the biggest vegan
Yeah.
now community, and in Japan. So he just needed to label it,
Didn't you
like with
live in
anything.
Japan for a little bit?
I traveled there for a few months.
Okay.
Loved it. I didn't want to leave.
Oh, wow.
It was beautiful. Look, and then the thing I loved about them, and that's what I'm kind of branching off to in Studio Vegan this year, is tradition. They like have
Yeah.
not lost their tradition. When you go in their house, you have to take your shoes off. You sit
Yeah.
on
You
the
have to do that for me right now in my house.
same thing with me. And they sit like how they would traditionally sit, and there's a little setup with pillows, and there's chopsticks that sit on this little rock out of respect. They don't let their chopsticks touch their plate when they're eating or
Mhm.
when they're done eating. Um, they don't bring their cell phones to the table. Everything is like,
Mhm. That's a
do
big
not
one.
disturb. They drink tea. It's just, they bless their food. They actually
Mhm.
talk about everything at the table, about their day.
Yeah.
It was an
Just a
experience.
connection, a human connection. And we are so disconnected today. And I'm
Yeah.
guilty. Now, I wasn't before, but now I don't even want to hear people's voices. Just text me and tell me what you want. Send me an email. Like I just don't.
I prefer to hear people's voices. I've been like that forever though. I prefer to connect to people because I feel like it's a different like level of connection.
Energy.
Yeah, and then you actually get to see but also know the person.
Hmm.
And I love that. I've That's why I go live all the time. That's why I enjoy
Yeah.
sharing videos so people can actually see me and connect with me. And it's not just my hands, because sometimes my videos are just my hands, but
Yeah.
most of the time in my intro, I make sure to show people who I am.
And see,
So,
that's
yeah.
I'm not there yet. I should,
Mm-hmm.
because I have urban farming with Trish, and
Mm-hmm.
it started off initially as a vlog, but then I
Mm-hmm.
just do not like being in front of the camera.
You
I
better
just
do
do
it.
not. I'm learning. I'm trying working on it. There's a lot of things coming up for 2021 for urban farming with Trish, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
we got Black Girls Can Cook, which
Yeah.
is something I'm excited about. But I'm gonna get better in terms of getting in front of the camera to learn to connect, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the key. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Is to start connecting with people.
Yeah. And I mean, after that, after the connection, but also going back to Japan, I learned the tradition part. And I was just telling one of my friends when I started making the kits for people and cookies, I was like,
Mhm.
there needs to be tradition. Like, I feel like in a lot of Black communities, we don't, or families, you don't have traditions. Like, something you
Yeah.
do, like every Sunday used to be like dinner night or whatever and
Mhm.
soul food. But I don't have that anymore. Like, my family,
Yeah.
that's not what we do. So, with a lot of my clients, they're building traditions around what I do. So, whether that
Mhm.
be them making cookies with their kids every Christmas,
Yeah.
or them making cookies with their kids every Sunday and buying kits so they have it at home, or making pancakes from scratch because I sell
Mhm.
pancake mix. They have these vegan pancakes to make every
Yeah.
morning. So becoming a part of a tradition, not just for Black people, but just in general, I feel like
Yeah.
that's huge to me, and that's what I want to
Yeah.
do.
That is key. I think we are. Although we don't do we're too busy. We're too busy. And I think that's what kind of stopped the Sunday traditions. You know
I
what I
think
mean? It's like if you don't work, you don't eat. We can't have a Sunday tradition anymore.
I think that's an excuse. I
You
feel
do,
like
you do?
I do, because I feel like with right now, we've been given the time to not be so busy anymore. Like COVID has literally put halts on anybody saying, well, I have to go out and do this, because where the hell are you going to go out and do what? So um, I feel like if you want to do something, you make time for it. And if
Yeah,
you don't
that's
if
true.
you don't, you make an excuse. And I feel like when people say they're busy, I say I'm busy, but I'm not. I know I'm not busy because I make time for absolutely everything I feel like
Mhm.
is important. So it's all about priorities. And
Yeah.
if your Sunday dinner or your Friday night with your kids is important, it becomes a priority, not something you put off to the side.
Yeah, that's true. That
Yeah,
is true because if you really want something, you just make time for it.
exactly.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm really busy, and also I'm a little lazy too, because
There
when
you
I do have those Sundays off, I've
go.
worked what 6 days a week, and that Sunday I'm like, okay, let me catch up on whatever I haven't watched, or let me sleep, or and to Sunday dinner is as a job.
It is. That's why you have your kids help you do it.
Oh, true, true,
They're eating, they gotta work for it. So
right.
that's what
Well,
mom needs to make us do.
yeah, I appreciate this conversation. I've learned so much. I'm definitely going to visit all your social media sites to learn a little bit more. I'm going to be watching you in the future. I encourage the Urban Farming with Trish family, the Black Girls Can Cook family, and all my platforms to really follow you and to learn and we can just grow together. That's my motto these days. And so I don't know how else to say it. I appreciate this conversation so much.
Thank you
Um, I
for
wanna we're
inviting
gonna
me.
follow you all the way into your fashion. So the
Okay.
little wrap on your head, I'm gonna need that one day. And I want to check those out. So hopefully we'll have another conversation, if not about veganism, but about your fashion. Maybe we can
Mhm.
purchase something, you know what
Of
I'm
course.
saying? Your fashion, just to touch on it, just to, give us something to look forward to. Is it more African tradition?
It is more tradition in general. I think it's specifically African. What
Okay.
I do is going back into like weaving and making lace from scratch and actually making fabric,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's something that is a lost everything in fashion. People no
Mhm.
longer make anything from scratch. Everything is done in sweatshop factories from in countries we don't even know about or we
Yeah.
do know about but isn't broadcasted.
Mhm.
So I took it from a homemade perspective. Same thing with my food. I
Mhm.
just make everything from scratch. This head wrap is actually super old, but
Really, I
it's
like it.
thank you so much. And now I just make fabrics. I make custom garments. Everything is custom made. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
do any like fast fashion for people because I feel like that is the problem with the industry. And some people
Mhm.
don't even understand that terminology when I say fast fashion,
Mhm.
um, which
It's
means
just
it's
cookie
not,
cutter,
yeah,
like a cookie cutter situation.
it's cookie cutter, but they're releasing 20 collections a year, which is insane.
Mm,
So it's getting away from that and actually going back to the basics where we actually cared about our clothes and actually where it came from, who made the
mhm,
fabric and X, Y, and Z, and actually asking who made it.
mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, we're gonna look forward to that, and we're gonna end it here. But thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate this conversation. And the only reason I'm ending is because I just have a feeling we can sit and talk all day. And I know we're both busy women, busy bosses. So we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All
Thank
right.
you
It was a
so much.
pleasure. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye bye.